every night for diving practice, because the closest diving well and the best coach in the area was an hour and a half away. And so it, it's always been there. It's always been a part of who I
Yeah.
am, I think. I've just been very lucky and fortunate to find the right environment. I mean, I never knew moving to Sarasota, Florida for this job at the Outdoor Academy that I was moving to the circus capital of the world. I never knew. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
I think it was fate that I ended up here for many reasons. I love my job, but I love that this circus part of me has really had a chance to grow and to connect with a community. So I would say, yeah, I think it's definitely something that I wasn't necessarily exposed to, like we were talking about. I saw my first Ringling Brothers show at the age of 16, but it
Yeah.
was something that was always there.
Now, that show from when you were 16, is that one of your favorite circus memories? Do you have any other circus memories you could share
Yeah,
with us?
I mean, I think it's one of my favorite circus memories because I got to experience it with my grandparents. And, my
Yeah.
grandfather, who's no longer with us, but to be able to go and see my grandmother just embarrass the heck out of my grandfather. And I mean, the when the clowns came out at the beginning of the show and did the pre-show, one of the clowns had a sign that said free kisses, and my grandmother unapologetically just kissed the clown on the lips. And, to see my grandfather turn red, that was a memory that's a memory I'll always cherish and never forget.
Yeah.
But I mean, even down to the Billy Martin circus show, like I would be adamant with my parents that would be the first person at the door to get in because I knew exactly where I wanted to sit so I could see everything. And, everyone would be running around getting cotton candy and popcorn and all of, the merchandise and things that were there where I was sitting and literally studying the ring. I was looking at the lighting. I was just that kid. But,
Yeah.
I'm shamefully gonna admit that one of my favorite circus memories is when I was much younger, when I was probably fourth, fifth grade. We put on neighborhood circuses every summer, and it literally would take us weeks. And a simple
Yeah.
swing set turned into a circus. We put tarps up to pretend that we were in a big top. We would get out floodlights and maintenance lights and create spotlights, if you will. We built a ring with some of the borders we pulled out of our neighbors' gardens and and then retrofitted to become our ring, if you will. And we just had
Yeah.
so much fun, but we came together as a neighborhood, as neighborhood kids, and we'd put on these shows and we just had a blast. Everything, I mean, this was back in the day when you'd have the cassette tapes, so you'd have to record your music and pre-record, and it was just fun. So that would be another memory. I would have to say that, you know, my first Circus Sarasota show is still something that's very, very special to me because that's when this organization that I love dearly, the Circus Arts Conservatory, came into my life. I will say seeing Dolly Jacobs fly at the 2017 Smithsonian Folklife Festival is something that I'll never forget. Again, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, but to see Dolly fly on the National Mall. I mean, Dolly and Pedro being primarily responsible for even getting the circus arts to be a theme at the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. That is a memory I'll never forget, to say the least. Yeah, so I think those would be some of my memory. I mean, I have so many. If you
Those
asked
are
me
great.
tomorrow, I'd probably have 5 different memories, to be honest.
No, but those are really wonderful because you talking about your childhood performing your own circus reminded me, oh yeah, I used to do that too. So those
Oh,
are
I mean,
really nice, wonderful memories.
we charged admission. We would sell popcorn. Mind you, it was we may have burned it, but we didn't mean to. It was it's the thought that counts. But I mean, we had fun. We had like one of my best friends growing up, and he was my neighbor. He was not athletically, or I shouldn't say it's not that he was not athletically inclined, but he just didn't feel compelled to cross the monkey bars or hang upside down. So he'd get out his four-wheeler and he did what we like to call now the earliest BMX act that there ever has been in the world of circus. But it was a lot of fun, and we just had, I mean, we had
Yeah,
absurd costumes. We did makeup. It was just a blast. I mean, that was what childhood was about. And we didn't have screens. I mean, we had television, but our parents wouldn't let us watch
right.
television. You'd go outside and you would play, and for weeks on end, we would build a circus, maybe go swim, come back, continue the circus, and it was just a blast. It was so much fun.
Yeah. It sounds really idyllic, actually. So you mentioned the Circus Arts Conservatory, and I have already mentioned, that you're on the board. How did you become involved with the organization?
Yeah, it's a couple of things happened. So my first year at Out of Door, I just kind of sat back and took everything in, both as a new college counselor at the institution, but also as a new resident of Sarasota. And one of the things I did was I went to my first Circus Sarasota show, and I was just immediately attracted to the organization. I loved the mission, but above all else, I had no idea that this was in our backyard. And one thing led to another. A former ODA parent and an incredible volunteer and all things circus arts related individual, Miss Marcia Carlson Pack, found out that I loved the circus and more or less invited me to just come in and be a part of her circus arts volunteer corps, and the rest is history. And that all stemmed from just our students here at Outdoor who volunteer so many hours under the big top every year for Circus Sarasota. And so when Marcia invited me in, I mean, that's all I needed, the invitation, and the rest is history. I'm still there. I'm still pestering Dolly and Pedro. I feel bad for them sometimes. I often joke around that with the Circus Arts Conservatory and that big top that we set up every January, it's kind of like the castle at Disney World, at the Walt Disney World Resort at Magic Kingdom. Every time I'm on Main Street and I see that castle, I feel like a child again. I get excited. I get nostalgic. Every time I walk up to that big top and I go inside of that big top, it's the same kind of feeling. And so they can't get rid of me. Even when my tenure ends with the Circus Arts as a board member, I'll still be there. I'll still tell Pedro how much I love the show. I'll still send him acts I think he should book. I'll still hound him. But I mean, I love everything about this organization, the people. I mean, the fact that it's a very, very small team, but you all just work so hard and you're all in it for the same reason. You all believe in the mission and vision. I mean, you can't help but fall in love with the organization when you really dig in and you find out more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on everything you just said. But one thing that did stand out is you did mention the high school students volunteering. So I know about the relationship between ODA and the Circus Arts Conservatory. Can you tell some of our listeners about how the two organizations work together?
Yeah, so we are very fortunate at Outdoor to have incredible students who are passionate about a lot of things and will give their time to those things that they're passionate about. And for many of our students, they love the circus arts. They love the Circus Arts Conservatory. And so in the upper school specifically, our 9th through 12th grade students every year donate many, many hours of service to the Circus Arts for the Circus Sarasota season. So those students spend anywhere from 4 to 6 hours a night under the big top helping Miss Marcia and the Circus Arts volunteer team with ushering and other duties and responsibilities that are needed in terms of making the so that the show can go on. And so that's one of the ways our students get involved. And Robin, Karen, Ricky, and the Sailor Circus coaches have come on campus a couple of times, but one time in particular that really stands out because I was jealous I didn't get to experience it. I got to see it from afar, but they came and they actually did a circus sampler for our middle school students. So if you can imagine watching 6th, 7th, and 8th graders walking on a low wire, seeing them get up on the lyra, watching them learn the art form of clowning from two incredible and accomplished clowns in Karen and Robin, learning how to juggle, learning how to hula hoop. And so there's always been that partnership there as well where our educational outreach program at the CAC has come in and talked with our educators here at Out of Door about how to enhance learning, how to take some of the classroom lessons that are taught, in those four walls and bring them out under a big top, to put them outside with a low wire. And so that's kind of part of what our kids here at Out of Door have done with the circus arts. They know the best time of year for Mr. Salmon, for me, is when the red noses come out and the tent goes up and we're going to be wearing, our black and white ODA volunteer T-shirts and our black pants and be under the big top and be a part of the front of house administration and making sure that patrons get to their seats safely. We love it.
Yeah. Well, this has been so great talking to you and learning so much about your life. Unfortunately, we're out of time, so I won't get to ask you the other three questions I had written down. But is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, this is great, and thank you guys so much. I just want all the listeners to know that none of the answers I provided are real, and I'm kidding. But I hope that everyone has a chance at some point, whether or not they're in Sarasota, to definitely stop by and see one of our shows under the big top, especially if you're here for the winter months, but to also definitely stop in and see one of our Sailor Circus shows, whether it's in December or in the spring, in the April timeframe, because you will just leave amazed seeing what these incredible young student artist athletes do in that arena. It's mind blowing. So thank you
And
so much
anybody
for this
listening,
opportunity.
oh, it's absolutely my pleasure. What I was going to add was if anybody needs more information, they can go to our website, circusarts.org, to find out when our shows will be, which we haven't posted the 2021 season yet, but we'll be doing that in the next few months. So thank you, Michael, so much. It was so enjoyable speaking with you, and I just hope that of your days are circus days.
Thank you.